Okay, folks. The best part of Michigan beating Ohio State for a fourth straight time. It's tough to choose it. The game itself or the aftermath. And in that, I mean, like I told you guys last week when I was really talking about it, and you might be wondering, why are you talking about it still? I'll get to that in a second. When I was telling you last week, I told you Buckeye Nation has lost its mind over this loss. Lost its mind. They're going through 10 stages of grief if 5 of them are anger and 5 of them are delusion. Okay? The delusion part is, wow, all that stuff that happened against Michigan, it's not indicative of our chances to win it all. We've got the best roster in the country, the best receivers in the country. We're Ohio State. Of course we have a chance to win the national title. And then there's the anger, the path that they've gotten. They got to take on Tennessee when Penn State's got an easier path, and the anger part of it. Well, that stage of grief of anger is still prevalent. I'm holding in my hand a bill that is being introduced in the state assembly of the great state of Ohio by, let me get this gentleman's name right, the state representative from Sylvania Township, Republican Josh Williams, has placed a bill in front of his colleagues to be enacted. And it's to prohibit planting a flagpole and flag in the center of the Ohio Stadium football field on the day of a college football game, and to name this act the OHIO Sportsmanship Act. HB number 700 states, no person shall plant a flagpole with a flag attached to it in the center of the football field at Ohio Stadium of The Ohio State University on the day of a college football competition. I believe that's how you pronounce the word "the" in that sentence. Whether before, during, or after the competition. Whoever violates this section is guilty of a felony of the 5th degree. A felony! A violation of this section is a strict liability offense, and section blah, 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 blah. This act shall be known as the OHIO Sportsmanship Act. Couple things here. So it's just the Ohio State football field. Go ahead and plant the flag in Toledo or Akron or Cincinnati or whatever.
Right.
It's just Columbus that this state representative cares about, even though he's in Northwest Ohio, where Toledo, portion of Toledo resides in this man. So go plant the flag there. No problem. Also, a felony. I looked it up. In the state of Ohio, a 5th degree felony is a fine up to $2,500, mandatory probation, and up to a year in jail. May I make a couple of amendments? First of all, it should be a crime to lose to your diehard rivals when they have 5 losses and a walk-on quarterback. And by the way, a defensive lineman or 2 who are going to be drafted in the top 10 of the National Football League draft, who you keep running at over and over and over again. Also, you want to make it an offense? Just call it an offense. It's up to you what you want to term it. An offense to have a coach just go, what happened? As the flag's being planted in the middle of your field? Another amendment. I would just love for one of State Representative Josh Williams' colleagues to introduce this one. I would like to attach a photograph to this bill in case anybody needs help spelling OHIO. How about that one? How about that one? From the flag planting aftermath. That should be helpful to anyone who needs help spelling this sportsmanship act. Let me just say this, too.
And another thing.
And another thing.
Let me tell you something.
You want to talk about the history of this rivalry? 1973.
Ooh.
The Buckeyes and Woody Hayes are in the big house taking on Bo Schembechler. You know how they have this banner in the middle of the field under which Michigan players run and touch the banner for good luck? I attempted to do it when I was the honorary captain. You did too, right?
I did.
You were running underneath it.
I smacked it.
Did you touch it?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get up there.
I smacked it.
I don't know. I mean, that's an MP,
That was
not a YP.
8 years ago. I was a little more limber.
I understood. But they slap it. Well, in 1973, Randy Gradishar and the rest of the Ohio State Buckeyes came running out and ran underneath it and grabbed it and threw it down to the ground in 1973. Did they introduce a bill in the Michigan Assembly? I looked it up. They didn't. 4 years later, after the Buckeyes won the next year, by the way, 73 game was a tie. That's another thing. Don't worry about it. Look that one up. Google it, as an Indiana coach would say.
Google me.
In 1977, Ohio State ran underneath the banner again. And Michigan alums who were there, and also lettermen, maybe from other sports or just didn't dress for the day, were afraid that Ohio State was going to go for the banner, and they started throwing punches, and Woody got involved. Odd that Woody would put his hands on a student. Never heard that one. 77. Now, of course, the kids today don't know from 73 and 77. You know what they know from? They know from a few weeks before the game, the Ohio State band putting a Michigan flag on its field, only to be covered by a poop emoji. That's what they see. And they saw it and maybe had it in their mind's eye. And also maybe because in 2022, when Michigan beat Ohio State in shocking fashion, they planted the flag that day. Mike Sanders still came on the show last week and talked about it. There were no fisticuffs. Maybe there were fisticuffs this time around because there were some players on the Ohio State who realized they were going to leave the program without having ever beaten Michigan in this rivalry game. Jack Sawyer is one of their best players. He's a terrific player. He was losing his mind. There's video of him losing his mind in front of Ryan Day, and Ryan Day stood there doing nothing about it. Now, as for this bill, the House Speaker in Ohio, Jason Stevens, says it's unlikely they're going to pass it or even act on it because the General Assembly adjourns at the end of the year. But for it to pass, they'll have to reintroduce it. Happy to reintroduce it in 2026 when they're back there. Maybe, just maybe, if Ryan Day's still there, he'll have the backing of the legislature to prevent the flag from being planted. Or maybe you do it yourself in 4 quarters, which is the way the rest of college football handles its business. To avoid the flag planting to begin with your actual play on the field. Oh, I'll be in Canton in August, by the way. That wraps up hour number 1. Bruce Feldman will join us on this program. That was what's called a spinning curve in the zone for me today. What a gift. What a gift to talk about it.
That's one of the more embarrassing things I've seen publicly.
How about it's just how about the Bills own, but only the Ohio State Stadium? Plant your flag.
Right, any other stadium.
About the Bearcats, what do I care?
Yeah.
Miami of Ohio.
Ohio,
By the way,
Miami. Who cares?
the township doesn't have any other college football teams he wants to prevent having a flag planted on him?
What do we know about this guy? Did he go there?
I
or
have no
something?
idea. I'm imagining. I didn't look that one up. By the way, Toledo is the birthplace, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Urban Meyer and Harbaugh were born in Jim Harbaugh were born in the same hospital in Toledo.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Right there on the border of the state up north. Ooh, let's not use the name. See, I can say the word Ohio. I can spell it. And if I needed help spelling it, there's now photographic evidence. Please, somebody in the state assembly in Ohio, make an amendment that this photograph has to be attached to the bill. Please. Please. Just for fun.
Trying to get those guys thrown in jail,
Just
Rich.
for fun. Just for fun. Please. Here. Assemblyman Williams. There's help in having you spell your bill. Here's a photograph to help you spell it.
I figured you would say what they did with the emoji is what he could do.
No,
to his
right,
bill.
exactly. But they haven't lost their minds over this loss at all. At all. Oh, baby. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.